All right. So last time, the Curse of Strahd. You, having spent an extra evening at the Wizard of Wines winery, say that 10 times fast, you were beset upon first thing in the morning by this giant, monstrous. Thanks, Chuck.
You're welcome.
There. Monstrous tree creature tearing its way through the woods from the hill to the south. It rampaged through the forest across the winery where you fought it down, realizing quickly that your attention needed to be at that hill, the origin of that tree blight. You made your way there, discovering the remnants of the dark ritual that had taken place the night before. Immediately, you were beset upon by berserkers and these ragged druids that seemed to worship this Strahd-like entity, fighting tooth and nail, some invisibility thrown in there somewhere. Tensveta, where we pick up, you are still bleeding out on the ground. For now, while that dark black tree looms a few hundred feet away from you, everything else seems to go quiet. And that's where we'll pick up.
Was I down too? Unconscious?
You know, I'll let you know. I don't remember.
Yes.
It's been 2 weeks. You weren't here last week.
Yeah.
Yep, he was down too.
Ooh.
There it is. It's like hidden behind something on me. It's my fault. There we go. So somewhere in the distance, Cole, through the rain and the fog, you see that black tree, this almost undulating mass of twig-like shape that seems to move and twist if you stare too long at it, almost like it's a vision or a hallucination, or it's crawling with worms or snakes. You hear a cough below you at your feet. Ash coughs up a bit of blood, still barely conscious on the ground.
Gotta see if I have any spells left. We weren't doing too good. Okay, all right, so yeah, I'm gonna, all right, mate, up you go, and I'm gonna grab Ash, and it's my last spell slot, but gonna use Cure Wounds. Normal. That's not bad. That's 9 points.
Oh, thanks for that. Ow.
Up you go. I don't think about other words yet. Yeah, and I'm gonna grab him, sling your arm around my shoulder, and kind of help you down the hill as I'm going down. Ryan, go check on the elf.
Yes, sir, Cole, if you insist. And Durango's gonna go over to Tensveta and squat down, check him out, and kind of prod at him gently with trying to touch him as little as possible, assuming he's quite bloody and kind of a mess, probably pretty dirty, laying on the ground.
Yeah, there's no color to him whatsoever, like the typical color that you would see, the blue, the red, whatever, non-existent.
Yeah, Sir Cole, it would appear that our friend is in quite dire straits.
See if you can't tie him up a bit. Just get him to stop bleeding.
Durango kind of just sighs disgustedly, looking at the bloody mess, and fishes out the healer's kit, and taking care to touch the blood as little as possible. He does his best to try and bandage Jensved up.
Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
That is a 9.
So close.
Yeah, unfortunately, just as you're trying to, do the best as much as Durango would, right? He's a mess of dirt and mud as his blood is mixed with the dirt and the hill as he's rolled down it. It's just it's disgusting.
You can see the telltale signs of someone almost murdered by a shatter.
You mean the telltale signs of somebody out of position?
Or somebody invisible. I don't remember which one it was.
It was both.
Yeah.
All the above, to be honest.
Sir Cole, it appears to still be leaking despite the greatest efforts of the great Durango Fortescue. There's like a slight bit of panic in his voice.
I've got nothing. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna just help Ash get down the hill, and I don't think I'll got any gas left.
Perhaps you would be better at the binding than myself. My fingers are not meant for such toil.
I know much better mine either, mate, but I'll give it a shot.
Can I assist when he does that?
I would actually say that because of all the damage you've already done, that Cole's roll, would be a disadvantage.
Not even the best.
Do you even have any experience with medicine?
Not only thing that ain't divine.
Yeah, I can try.
Go ahead, Ash, with disadvantage.
With disadvantage, medicine check.
So all of you begin to, you're all trying to do the best you can, and while the basics are there, you're stopping the blood flow, but Tensveta still seems, he's still unconscious, and he doesn't seem to be getting any better. You're not certain how long he has, an hour, 2, a day, minutes. It's difficult to tell.
I think we did what we could.
Thought we'll get him back to the winery.
That's the only thing we got.
We'll get you back as well.
Yeah.
If you two are capable of helping our friend here, the great Durango shall blaze a trail.
Think we can.
Cole, make a wisdom saving throw for me.
$16.
Dean, as you start to look around, and for a moment you get this compulsory desire to stay and to start digging through the cairns. You see the graves all around, and you feel like this haunting calling to you. Find me. Find my spear. Within a moment, you see Tens lying on the ground again, and you push the thoughts down, and you quickly attend to your friend. Acquaintance.
Yeah, I just sort of shake it off and yeah, what we came to get. Yes, let's go.
It's my limping motion.
Okay, so you
Durango's
all,
cleaning
you're
himself
just,
up.
are you picking him up? What is the plan here?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing the bulk of the supporting with maybe Ash helping out a bit. Durango up front.
So as you grab him essentially by the ankles, the other by the shoulder, and just start carrying him down the hill, Durango, you look up and you can see that dark looming tree just aching and like grasping, writhing, trying to get towards the sunlight. That shadow just sort of creeping closer and closer to you and your friends as you make your way down the hill. The further down you get, the smaller and smaller it gets. A dark silhouette against the noon sky.
Say,
What is the
What-
pace? Yeah, I was saying, what pace are you making to get back to the winery? Cautious, I guess, cautious of Tensveta, or quickly?
The
I ain't
correct
doing
answer
so
is
hot.
yes.
One or the other. Are you trying to be careful with him, or are you trying to move as fast as you can?
Yeah, Ash isn't going to be able to hoof it real quick after that, so it's going to be unintentionally cautious of Tens.
Yeah, and we can only go as fast as the slowest people, so
And I ain't moving.
yeah. So we're not going anywhere then. We're stuck right where we are.
Why don't I have the two of you each make strength saving throws for me, or checks? Sorry, not saving throws.
What are these garbage rolls today? 8.
17.
So, Cole, as you again, you continue to carry him, your eyes just continue to look back at the hill, thinking about that voice, thinking about, what could be calling to you, these visions of you standing on top of a mountain. Piles and piles of your enemies lay before you, the church, your enemies in the Dawn Wardens, all of it. Just said for a moment, just the power to do whatever you need to do, to be the force you need to be to change things, to not feel so helpless. And the exhaustion starts to wear in. The battle, your armor gets heavy. Tensveta is heavy. Ash, on the other hand, the adrenaline from the fight and coming back to life, you're surprised at your own stamina as you trudge forward with a singular goal. But that's what you're made to do, right? That's your when you get focused on something, you see it through. And right now you're focused. The winery just getting closer and closer in your vision. But the path is slow. Tensveta, make your second death saving throw.
This would be third if we don't count the last one.
The last one was a joke.
Okay, then we'll reset.
That was to see where we were rating. I was a kid. It was a joke.
I kid.
However, that one's not.
Okay, that should just be one, not. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Continue. It's a failure, by the way.
Yeah. So you guys are continuing to carry him. His body gets colder and more gray. It's hard to tell with just the overcast sky and the dreariness of your surroundings, but it seems to be losing more and more of whatever life he's clinging to.
The hair is actively becoming more and more blonde.
I don't look good.
Even dying, he's changing colors.
Durango, in the tree line, you continue to see things move, whether drawn to the scent of blood or death. You keep thinking somewhere in the shadows, just beyond the fog, just beyond your vision, you feel like you're being stalked. And as the trees begin to dissipate, as you now are maybe a quarter of a mile away from the winery, it is that slow trek downhill through that long valley to get back to the building. Cole, each step at this point, a painful breath for you as you just continue to slog on, doing the best you can not to drop. Tensveta to keep moving forward, pushing through until finally you reach the winery. The old man comes out to see you and so, is it done?
No time to talk. We can talk after. He needs help.
What happened?
We'll go over as soon as we gotta get him his blood staunched. I hope someone here's got some medical experience, because we ain't.
We will do what we can. Bring him inside. So you can see they push across. One of the girls pushes a bunch of stuff across the table. They lay him down. The old man just claps you and says, "Why don't you go on to get some rest? We will do what we can for your friend."
Ash is just gonna find the nearest wall and kind of put his back against it, slide down to sitting position. I don't think I've ever been hit that hard, and I don't like it.
Just looking at him. Yeah, it looks like your head's barely attached no more. And as he laughs, he grabs at his rib cage.
Durango looks fantastic, by the way.
Ash, seeing Durango, making sure he's all prim and proper, uses prestidigitation just to make a big mud splat in the back of his coat where he can't see it.
Unaware, Durango continues to be striking.
So as you can't take a long rest right now, you can take a short one for the three of you.
Yeah.
But Cole, you are suffering from a point of exhaustion, so you take a long rest. Okay.
Okay.
Tensveta.
Mm-hmm.
You're not used to dreaming. And this world, this land, this strange domain that you have found yourself in has been, while terrifying and frustrating, it has awarded you and afforded you some things you were just never seen before. Dreams, visions of home and warmth and happiness, a longing for it that you don't remember having. But this isn't one of those dreams. In this dream, it is dark, and it is endless fog. And as you feel light, like a wisp, like your body has no weight, you just rush through these endless trees and fog, as if scratching at a cage. You reach the end, this wall of fog on the other end. You think you can feel it. You feel the warmth of home, the Fey wild, but you scratch and claw at these invisible walls and you just cannot get through. You turn and spin and the fog is all around you now. Looming somewhere in the shadows, a shape, a figure, laughing. And then suddenly your eyes open. The scent of blood, dirt, wine fill your nostrils. Father, I think he is awake. Well, don't get up. Don't get up. You've been very badly injured. You need to rest.
Oh. I'm gonna check and see if all my teeth are there.
Make a perception check. For your own teeth.
9.
That's a first for me as a DM. It's you try to run them along the inside of your mouth. You feel like they're all there, but all you can taste is blood.
I'm gonna like reach into one of my side pouches and see if that gem that I pulled from the chest is still there. Like the chest of the effigy that I burnt and knocked over.
You reach your hand in and it wraps around that.
He just kind of holds it up. He just kind of weakly pulls it out and holds it up.
Ugh, look at that. You found it. One of them at least. Yes, of course we'll take it. This actually explains a little bit.
And now he's gonna sit up with the heart. I don't think I want to ever be invisible ever again.
There are worse things than being invisible, my friend. Like dead.
I'd rather be seen than invisible. And you're not entirely wrong.
Well, to each their own. But let me help you off this table and get you somewhere you can lie down.
That'd be nice. He kind of looks over at Ash and just kind of gives a nod and like a half grin.
Invisible's better, because you look like shit right now.
Fuck you. Can I have something soft to lay on, possibly, please?
Yes, of course.
And maybe some more of that, you called it vodka. I had to throw the bottle on the thing.
How did it work?
Splendid. Oh.
Good to know. Multi-purpose.
Mm.
Fortescue's finest. So he leads you into a side room where they have a small cot set up for you. You see the girls grab a couple blankets. It is again not the best surroundings. But we will do our best to avoid you.
It's fine. I'm sociable, to say the least. And there's a bit of a swirl of red and blue kind of playing at the edge of his hair. And he's a little conflicted as he just says, I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you. This seed in the wrong hands is, again, as you can tell, very dangerous.
can I ask what you're planning on doing with it? Because it gave me a touch comfort before.
Well, we will use it to help heal the land here that is slowly dying with the blight. I'm sure you saw the source at the top of that hill, yes?
Yeah. Okay, just... And he doesn't lay down on the cot, but he sits down on it and leans up against the wall and pulls out a couple of marbles that he's painted and just kind of swirls them around in hand slowly.
Okay.
Send, if you don't mind, send the rest of the finest in whenever you get a moment.
Of course. Cole, Durango, a few moments later, the old man arrives. Your friend is awake. He's asking to see you.
I was wondering if he ever would. And kind of push himself off his knees, and I'm feeling a bit better
It was
after
close,
napping a bit.
thankfully. He had this on him, and he holds up that glowing greenish gem. Who's to say what would have happened if otherwise? So
What do you mean I kept him alive?
can't be sure, but either that or he is definitely a fighter.
That's probably the gem. Right to him.
As you head into this side room, there are several barrels stacked in the wall. A small cot has been set up for Tensveta, who is sitting on the bed looking like not much better. Not much better than you left him, but significantly more color in his tone.
He's still with us.
It is like our friend says, Mr. Cole. For Tensveta Neyota, death is but a mood.
You know what? That ain't bad in a song, I think.
You could be onto something, my friend. Excuse me. Durango grabs his lute off his back and starts kind of plucking out a melody.
Well, thanks for getting me out of there, I guess.
I'm guessing that was you who lit the statue on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. It crushed one of the big ones.
I thought it may be useful.
Yeah. Most likely while we got out of there alive, honestly.
He's right, as much as I hate to admit it.
He's still all in one piece. You look horrible.
I think I'm missing a bit of my ear, but I think I can equate that to a certain bard's burst of loudness. Though that's on me for not knowing, being in the wrong spot and visible, I guess.
I assure you, Mr. Tens, I was quite unaware that you were within the range of the effect of the powers of the great Durango Fortescue.
I'm also sure that you're probably very, what's the word I'm looking for? Important. That's not the word I want. Important in getting me back here safely, yeah?
Durango kept his eyes on the treaties. He was aware. He blazed the trail, while brave Sir Cole shouldered the burden that was your form.
He looks at you, Cole, and like makes sure to meet your eyes. He just says, "Thank you."
It wasn't nothing. Sort of like a little too aggressively pat him on the shoulder.
Ah!
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's out of socket.
Hey, you look like shit too there, Ash.
I always look like shit, though.
That's true, but you can clean yourself up.
Ash does more prestidigitation. Nothing changes, but there's more mud spots on Durango where he can't see them.
Durango's doing his best Captain Morgan impersonation with one foot up on the cot, looking striking. But you must admit, Mr. Tens, especially for one with such a front row seat, the effects were quite impressive, no?
It was. Maybe you can show me how to do it one day. Or at least the basics.
Well, Mr. Tens, perhaps, but I am not sure that you are equipped for such a task. And Durango holds up his six-fingered hand. I do not know how I could teach.
I've got one less. Should be easier, right? For you.
Durango holds up his other hand, which also has six fingers.
Tens matches and goes, I don't understand the I don't understand your allegory here, if I'm being honest.
Well, we'll try picking up a fork without your thumb.
I could do that.
That's disgusting.
You just do it like this. Right? Yeah, like that. And
Mr. Tens, I could no more explain to you how to do what Durango does than you could explain to me how not to sleep.
fair. You can see the like red and blue like almost evenly split. But a little bit of that blonde is staying blonde. He just goes, so we're gonna stay the night here, yeah? Yeah? We sleep again in the barn, I guess?
Did we get everything done we need to get done on that hill?
Please
Not
don't
that-
make me go back there if there's more of those fuckers that are gonna pop out of the ground. Please, no.
Well, it's still a matter of, you know, if we don't kill that gross-looking shadowy tree thing, they're just gonna do it again, right? And we have to come back, and eventually I'm gonna get tired of coming back to this winery and saving their asses.
Would it do no good for our reputation to not save them properly the first time, no?
I suppose.
You blokes hear anything when we were over there besides, you know, the screaming of 1,000 dead druids or twig monsters? Like a voice.
No, I didn't.
My voice.
I didn't talk to you in your head the entirety, most of the time we were there, I think.
Perhaps I heard the snapping of Sir Tens's rib at one point, but I did not hear voices.
My ears were ringing for a little while, so.
Nothing like, confine me and take out your foes, nothing like that.
He pulls out the hilt and kind of shakes it and. No.
I think when them talking weapons is up on that hill. Actually, it was
talking weapon.
well, you know, like what Tens has got.
Fuckery.
Fuckery.
Right.
A fuckeried weapon. Yeah.
A blade of a fakuri.
What I'm saying is, if we just, you know, so happen to go back and take out a twig blight that we should do anyway out of the kindness of our hearts.
I mean, at this point, they knocked
First
me down.
off-
I just kind of burn their tree down just to
That's-
spite them.
let's be real for a moment. Neither one of you do much out of the kindness of your hearts, so I don't.
Oh, yeah. You got sarcasm in there where you come from.
Yeah, I do. The red's starting to take over the blue.
Mr. Tens, I would say that you wound me, but as you can see, I am quite fine.
Right. Look, I don't think it's wise to go right this moment.
Absolutely not. Ah,
Maybe let me get some of that Fortescue's finest into my system. Yeah, maybe. A little bit of liquid courage, though not the real stuff.
yeah,
It is
enough
my
to get us
opinion
to
that we
sleep.
have earned such a thing.
I'm sorry.
I say
Yeah.
it is my opinion that we have earned such a thing.
Hmm. Actual liquid bravery. We have to go home for that one.
I would just do something to take the edge off the pain. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be. Mm-hmm.
Or whatever you said, sure.
So the two of you, and he points to Cole and Durango and just says, two of you are perfectly fine, more or less. Specifically, more you so than the other. Durango, please go talk to the old man about something.
Durango looks shocked for a moment, looks at his hand, and looks at Tens, and looks back for a moment and sighs. But of course, Sir Tens, I shall fetch this for you immediately. And the rest of you, a hot meal?
I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Perhaps you would like fresh bedding, Mr. Tens. Hmm?
Ah!
I would
He
take
kind
it
of like
if you got it.
leans. He leans and he like lifts his shirt just enough for you to see where there's like abrasions from the shatter, and just goes, "Ah, you see, this one hasn't quite cauterized yet. So
He's still like,
maybe
Oh,
go
come
get
on.
some fucking drinks."
For a moment, Durango considers lifting up his own shirt, but decides against it, and and then leaves the room in a bit of a huff.
Fuck, he's
Cool.
the only one that didn't get fucking hurt up on the hill, and he's completely red at this point. He's like, fucking only one on the hill didn't get fucking hurt, and he's out here fucking hurting his own people out here. Fucking, god damn.
Cole follows him out. It's going, oh, well, that's what you get for making him mad, I suppose.
Should have left him on the hill.
Ash has
He's,
just been chuckling this whole time.
A few moments, you walk through the winery, and the old man appears. He's speaking to one of his younger children, one of the boys. So your friend is okay, I guess. Yes.
It would appear that his brush with death has left him no more agreeable in company. My friend has requested beverages, and even worse, he has requested that I fetch them. Do you believe this? Hi, the great Durango Fortescue.
I will work on getting some refreshments and dinner to you all. I take it tomorrow. Will we still make our way to town, or what is the plan?
This does sound agreeable, but of course I must consult with my companions, assuming they are all feeling worthy for the road and not still laying in bed leaking.
Fuck you, bud.
Really flew off the handle there at me, eh?
Yes. Well, we will be ready to go, provided you are all feeling tip top. Because again, the roads can be very dangerous. So I do not want to continue to put you into danger if you are still injured. And we do
Yes,
not
it would
need
be
you
a
to
terrible
accompany us,
shame.
but it would be a benefit.
Yes, it would be awful. Should someone be injured, they'd have to be left on this side of the road for the wolves. I agree. This would be awful.
But what did happen out there?
Well, we approached the hill. There was a gathering of wild people, the savages, they dress in furs and rags, wild hair. Durango's in full narration mode. He's gesticulating and like really waving his hands about as he tells the story. It was through great cunning and guile that we were able to approach unbothered. Through folly, we were surprised and fought for our lives, both bravely. It was in this moment that Mr. Tens became rather incapacitated. And we did not mention, or we did not notice until our resounding victory.
This valley has been home to these wild people for centuries. They are typically an annoyance. Bandits, they will attack caravans and steal food and whatever weapons they can find, but this was something different this time. Perhaps the seed gave them bolstered power or something else. I don't know. Many have gone to that hill. Few come back. You should count yourselves lucky.
I can assure you, my friends, that luck was barely a factor in the case of the great Durango Fortescue.
I believe it. Well, let us work. I will not bother the great Durango Fortescue to deliver such meager rewards to your friends. I will, of course, have one of the children bring it to you. So, we are in your debt for this. You have saved this family and this winery.
Durango bows deeply, dramatically, formally. You have shown much grace as our hosts. I look forward to seeing the name of Fortescue's finest spread throughout the land.
As do we.
Now I must go. It would be a shame if the elf went thirsty. I must explain to him that the drinks are coming.
Yes, blame it on the kitchen. We will be by momentarily. And the motions and one of the girls starts running towards the kitchen.
Durango just returns to the room.
Man said it's coming. He knows respect. Yeah, he's not gonna make, of course, the great Durango Fortescue bring anything in here.
Durango's nose lifts a couple inches into the air as Cole says this, gives his head a kind of arrogant toss.
Why are we going back tomorrow for that tree?
It would appear that our hosts were hoping that tomorrow we could begin escorting the shipment back toward town. Perhaps we would have time in the remainder of the day.
Today? Like today?
What time is it right now?
At this point, it is early evening. The sun, although it's never very present, is low somewhere beyond the clouds and the fog, nearing the mountains.
It's also 1/2 beat down the clock, so...
Allow me to be incredibly clear on my feelings on going back now. You can eat my fucking shoe.
Were it not for my intervention, Mr. Tens, I would have to get in line to eat your shoe. Do you recall this?
No.
No, you would not. On your back, bleeding, gazing to the sky, pointed ears dug in the ground.
Oh,
Hey, you've got an extra finger, right? You can find another place to hide it. Eh?
Perhaps one of your gaping wounds.
Maybe why don't you just shove it up your ass?
Listen, as much as I'm completely enjoying this, Rango, I feel the best either.
I
Yeah,
do
they got a
could-
point.
I do would favor a hot meal, perhaps, after such a day's labors.
And what we could do is do this delivery, have a little conversation with our tavern keeper there, and maybe we gotta come back to check out the monastery anyway. Maybe
Well-
go back to the hill as part of coming back.
I suppose, yeah, that's not a bad idea. We've got to go back down to the Blue Water and then take the other half of the shipment to the Abbey, right?
I believe so. Believe so, yeah.
So we could just ride back with the wagon on the way back.
Are we concerned about any sort of
Keep Mr.
retaliation?
I mean,
We just kind of fucked up those druids' plans for like 2 days straight.
And half of them are dead, at least. The ones
Yeah.
that were actively part of the entire whatever fuck out on that hill are now fucking dead. Yeah?
Right? And the other half are going to be coming at an undefended winery.
I would assume that they're probably just a bunch of fuckalls sitting up on top of another hill somewhere, making their own little wooden huts and shit, hiding inside of their own graves.
typically after a war, you also want to regroup a bit, you know. Typically you jumped in with your resources exhausted, and they lost the big gem out of the chest of their big, like, Strahd-looking character. Right? They look like Strahd, right?
Yeah, the fucker laughed at me.
No, that was me. Sorry.
Maybe I was dreaming, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing him. I
Like
think
a
it'd be very.
slight creak as the door opens, and you can see one of the girls. Is this a bad time?
No, it's a fucking great time. Please give me a drink.
Okay. You can see they come in and they turn one of the barrels, the empty barrels, sideways, and set the drinks down. Dinner will be ready within the hour, and we will bring you some. Is
Thank you.
goat stew? Is that good for you? Good.
Why do you keep slamming your fist into the bedpost?
It's called trying to be somewhat nice.
I think he's trying to say thank you.
You must forgive my friend. He has left his manners atop a hill.
Manners are not common around here, so it is fine. I appreciate it. And again, I will be along as soon as dinner is ready. Thank you again.
And taking the glasses, start passing them around.
Ash doesn't wait. Shoots it straight.
I was gonna say, Tins is
Oh.
chugging it as fast as much as he can.
And go curses an infernal under his breath and slams it back.
Fuck me then, I guess.
So, I have an errand I'd like to do while we're in town. If we're going back to Valoki tomorrow, I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I did. Bit of a blurry day. So, I'd like to go talk to our wizard friend outside of town. Yeah. The elf fella, the desk elf.
Oh, in the Vistani encampment.
Yeah. And he kind of pulls out some of the marbles and starts spinning them around again, and just goes, "Want to see what he thinks of these?" He kind of flicks one around and bounces off of the corner of the like off the bedpost, and he catches it.
Play marbles with him.
Sure, I got a few shooters.
That was weird. He just starts pouring more of the finest.
Oh, and he starts digging through his bag, and he kind of like looks at the blood on it. Pulls out that chunk of wood that he pulled from the side of the road, pulls out his wood carving tools and starts working on it. Shaving bits of it off, taking out bigger chunks.
So as all of you settle in and get liquored up, dinner comes. It is warm and hearty, if not simple and earthy. The beds are made up for the rest of you in the stable. And we're near the carts and everything where they were the previous night, much to your dismay, Durango. Is there anything anyone's looking to do before we end this day?
Ash isn't going to get plastered. He's just going to drink enough to take the edge off.
Neither is Tins. Tins has to focus on what he's working on, so.
For me.
Yeah, Durango's getting moody musician drunk.
You know, throughout the course of the night, as you know, Durango starts just jamming, whatever. Cole's doing a completely off rhythm, sort of like stomp dance around the, around the room. And when the room isn't big enough for him, he goes and starts dancing around the vats and.
I've seen some strange stuff in my day. This might take the cake. I don't know what this is. But
This isn't. We almost died. I got my life. Dance around a bit. Come on, and I actually rip him up.
Ow!
Yeah, come on. Yeah, you shouldn't have let me do that. Yeah. And just start forcibly conga lining.
Ash begrudgingly just starts conga lining with you. Ow, 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 ow.
Easy hips like this.
As the evening comes to a spinning conclusion, some of you sleep comes easier than others. All of you quickly succumb to the exhaustion, the alcohol, the food. Comfortable in the fact that the family is keeping an eye on things, or maybe just not caring for the evening. Tens, what are you working on?
It's basically I'm gonna try and make I'm gonna take what little bit of wood I can and try and fashion a something with a 4-way cross split that is nice and smooth on the outside. That's a little bit smaller than the rest of the the centerpiece of the wood. I want to keep the other pieces as well that I shave off of it, but I want to make that cross section down to about halfway, so that way it makes a bit of a bend. I wanted to have a little bit of plasticity to it, so that way I can put something down into it and potentially shoot something out of it. Not necessarily at high speed, but yeah.
So you're kind of trying to fashion a crossbow?
No.
Or like a blow gun.
No, something that I could squeeze, and if there's something circular inside of it, it'll shoot out.
Are you trying to make a wooden gun?
No.
I think he's
making a turkey baster.
I was gonna say he's got a nutcracker that you press something and it'll basically the friction will shoot the
But
marble
what
or
would the
whatever.
but what would the back portion be? I mean, it looks like you're trying to make
Just
like
the
a wooden circular tube.
Like have like a tube of wood that's about this long,
Yeah.
about long, and then cut it down to about half, and a cross section. Shave it down to where on the inside to where it'll be smooth, so that way nothing gets really kind of screwed up as you shove something down inside of it, and then like take what little bit of like something to just wrap around it to keep it kind of like squeezed a little bit, so that way there's pressure in there. You shove it down in there. It's no more than a toy, really.
Okay.
It's a turkey
well,
baster.
It's a turkey baster.
it's a whoopee cushion.
Meh.
Can you so you proficient in wood carver's tools? Yeah.
Yep.
Just make a dexterity check, I guess.
Okay. God damn, that's a 6.
How much time are you looking to devote?
I think it's probably he's doing it mostly out of anger, and frustration, and trying to be prepared for the future, for a variety of different things. But he's trying to keep his mind off of it by keeping his hands busy. So he'll probably do it the majority of his not having to trance.
Okay. So shaving and trying to dig it in, you fashion the shape well enough and easy enough. It's simple. Boring out the inside is it's a difficult task. The wood is a little wet, but you go at it anyways, and you're trying to hollow out this concentric wooden shape, and just about halfway through, the outside cracks and splits on you.
He just like throws it across the room.
Yeah. You start looking around for anything you could use as like a pulp to try to fill it and seal it, or just maybe wrap it up, and you just continue to get more and more frustrated as it just continues to crack and break down the barrel or length of this thing.
All right, so my next question is the what's left of the pieces could I potentially make like sharpened like small bolts? Because one of the things of the woodcarver's tools is over the course of a short rest you can make 20 arrows or bolts. So
Sure.
okay.
Yeah,
Then he'll just sit there. Angrily makes bolts.
Are you just wooden bolts essentially?
Yeah, wooden bolts.
Yep. Okay. Easy enough. You just take the rest of it. I would say with what you have left, you don't make 20. I'll give you 10
Okay, works for me.
with what's not damaged. Okay.
Mobile stakes. Let's go.
Right. So, okay, great. So as the evening takes all of you, you get a long rest. Cole, your exhaustion dissipates. The sun comes up way too quickly, but already you hear the cawing of ravens outside. You hear the winery come to life maybe an hour before the sun even rises, as they begin loading up the wagon for your journey. All of you are gathered now. Tens, Ash, sore but rested. All right, well, my friends, it should be a relatively simple trip. We will head out as soon as the sun is crest the hill there. I don't expect trouble, but it is a comfort to know you will be with us.
As long as I can sit on the back. And Ash is gonna take out his bow, kind of lay it on his lap, and just sit at the back of the cart.
As long as we do not waste too much time, we should be able to get to the Blue Water, then make our trip to the Abbey, and then return before nightfall.
Yeah. Yeah, we should get moving then if we don't want to waste time.
Tens just loads up.
So all of you gather yourselves, top the wagon, and make your way down the sloping hillside, back into the northern woods, those Svalak woods leading towards the town of Valaki. The journey is relatively comfortable, considering the wagon moves slow but steady. With the barrels on the back, you're able to rest on the wagon. The family are laughing and telling stories. It is overall a pleasant trip. Within a few hours, after you see that tower looming a little in the distance, however, the wagon turns in a different direction than the one that you took, following that main road, the broken cobblestones barely laid out what used to be that old Svalak road, as it meanders through this dark, foggy wood. Again, several of you in moments and times feel like you see something, shapes moving throughout the fog further in the wood, but for the most part, the journey is calm, quiet. A reprieve from the seemingly endless onslaught that has been your journey into Barovia. Several more minutes pass, and that stone bridge, you hear as the wagon wheels creak across. A few more minutes, and that giant wooden wall surrounding the town of Valaki comes into vision. Several of the guards nod as you pass through those wooden gates back into the town, and then back into the blue water. As you pull up, Danica approaches. Well, seems everything was all right then. You guys managed to find the wine.
Yeah. Had a lot of trouble with it.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. You also always seem to find trouble, eh?
That is a good point.
Hopefully the old man didn't give you any guff. Everything was all right up there? Everyone okay?
I mean, other than a bunch of druids trying to kill everybody, kill the land, yeah, everything was great.
Just another sunny day in Barovia.
I hate this place so much.
It grows on you. But what is this stuff here? No, that is our new stock. We have named it after one of your friends. He was so generous in helping us with the winery. It smells like lantern fluid.
Lights like it too.
But it'll also take the edge off like any wine that I've ever had.
Oh, well, I know a few around here who could use it. What are we calling it?
Durango looks expectantly at everyone else in the group and just like puts a foot up on the wagon wheel, taking that Captain Morgan's stance.
And as he does, Ash in Durango's voice will say, Fortescue's finest.
That is quite a weird trick.
Yeah, well. Running with this crew, you pick up on a few of them.
Well, at least you're back in town safely. Things have been busy around here.
Oh,
Tense. Tense, the Burgermeister and the mistress are just going back and forth. But for now, everything seems calm. Yeah, will you be staying the night here? Should I get the rooms ready?
No, I think we'll be rolling back out. We're not quite done
I have a
enjoying the
stop.
countryside.
I have a stop to make first. We may want to stay here tonight. I don't know how long it's
it
gonna
will it will take us maybe an hour to get this unloaded, and if that is enough time for you. but we must be on the move if we have to make it back to the winery before nightfall. We do not want to be on this road at dark.
I thought you were going to the Abbey.
Correct. So we have to leave here to go to the Abbey, do another stop, and then get back to the winery. So
All right.
time is of the essence.
Fair enough. And be back here in an hour then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It would not do for the unloading to take too long and leave us less than punctual. Surely some extra sets of hands could be of assistance in unloading this wagon. And once again, Durango looks expectantly at Ash and Cole.
The
Ash.
guy, he sort of looks surprised at you and then sees where you're looking. And yeah, of course, any extra hands would of course help the work go quicker.
Ash takes out 2 gold pieces, hands them to Durango. Well, then I suppose you wouldn't mind fetching me some more arrows and a gold for your trouble.
Mr. Ash, of course, Durango has but the finest, most discerning eye for fletching. You are very wise.
Just make sure it shoots straight.
My services are easily worth 5 gold, but for such a good friend as you, we shall call it even, yes?
Suppose we shall.
And Tins will send a little, like, warm, echoey message to Danica and just say, "Oh, and we need to talk about this Raven group." And he just walks off.
He just like stops and looks confused for a moment. Do all of you have that, like, can all of you throw your voices? It's really quite impressive.
Oh, you press like that. He says with a barrel of whatever in his hand. What was it, Red Dragon?
Stop flirting.
That's it, 2 of them on each one on each shoulder.
That's
Married
sweet,
woman.
dear, but I've been married for a long time. All right. So as all of you go about your normal routine, or assisting in unloading, finding arrows, Tensveta,
Yep.
you make your way outside the city walls, out that southern gate, up the hill towards the Vistani / Elven encampment.
And I can't remember, but I know that Tins would remember with his intelligence. What was the elf's name again?
The elf's name again,
Yep.
with Tens's intelligence.
It's not keen mind, but I imagine he'd probably remember names or have it written down on like Chuck.
His name is Casimir.
Casimir. Okay.
You walk up. 2 of those guards are still standing there, out perpetually outside, out front. They just look at you, look away.
He's just tossing this bag of marbles up and down in his hand as he walks in. Just says, "Casimir, mind having a conversation?"
He just suddenly looks up from the desk where he's busy writing. Hell, I thought you'd thought wiser of your desire to conflict with Strahd, and had, taken off as so many others had. Surprised to see you return.
By no means. And he sets the marbles down on the desk, and he just leans. Is there a chair on the other side?
Yeah. So the hut is small, right? I mean, it's this very small structure that's built into the side of this mound, right? But it's only maybe 10 feet across, so the rooms are relatively small. But there's a desk that he is writing at, a small bookcase behind him, and a chair to sit down in front of it.
Okay, he like pulls it out rudely and like sits down with a plop, setting it down, and just says, "I'd like to talk to you about some stuff. Maybe ancestral magic, potentially."
Well, I'm not certain. Our lineages have been split many times, and well, the Dusk Elves have been here in Barovia for centuries.
Right, but
It
and
has
he starts
been
untying the marbles.
aeons since we have been back to the wilds. What is it you're trying? What specifically are you trying to accomplish?
Well, I know that there needs to be a certain basic level of understanding of the arcane, and he sets one of the marbles down in front of him, and it has Elvish script that has been written across and around the marble, Elven runes. In his best interpretation of something along the lines of prestidigitation, since he's seen it used so often up close, and just goes, I am in need of having a closer, more refined understanding of the relationship between my blade and my body, and enhancing
make an Arcana check.
Okay. Natural 20 for 25.
25. So he picks up the marble and he stares at it for a moment.
I didn't have a spell book, sorry.
Yeah, it turns out it's the medium doesn't matter, but you have a talent for this. It's impressive. You've never practiced magic before.
Other than my innate bloodline stuff, not really, no. I've had to study some of it, though, in my investigations back home a time or two. I've chased down a few hags, though I never outright, had a run-in with them. I understand
Idle
some
creatures,
haggish
yes.
stuff, yeah.
Well, yes. He reaches behind him, and you can see him shuffling through a bookcase. This will do it for you. It's not much. It belonged to an apprentice of mine before Strahd. Well, you know the tale.
Right.
And he slides it over, and it is a beginner's spell book. There are several spells already copied in there.
He starts kind of flipping through it.
Now, of course, you can continue to use your preferred method if that is what you choose, but I believe the path you are speaking of is blade dancing. You would call it in common, yes?
I think it translates better to singing, but we have enough of that in my group. Dancing works better.
Yes, dancing, song, it's all irrelevant, right? It is a rhythmic sense of combining the physical and the arcane.
Right.
Yes. Yes, so practice these forms laid out in this book. You may continue to use your marbles, but it will take time.
Of course.
Have you used a blade?
Quite often.
Yes, well, that typically is the more difficult part of this, of course. It is to have proficiency in the two. You're essentially attempting to master two completely different art forms and blend them together. So that is, it comes with its own challenges. But
He pulls out the hilt and he sets it on the table and he just goes, I believe I've already found the perfect married piece.
it up slowly, and you see he recoils from it for a second. Oh, wow. That is an interesting find.
You like to see it?
No, I think that's close enough. I think I hate Strahd enough without whatever is in there goading me any further. Be careful, Tensveta.
I'll be
These
fine.
weapons tend to have a will of their own. And if you are unguarded for a moment, they can consume you.
Allow me to regale you with a short tale, if you don't mind. Yesterday, we went out to the Wizard of Wines. A few days ago we went out to the Wizard of Wines, and we fought through a variety of animated trees, bushes, twigs. It's harrowing. And upon speaking with the owner of the Wizard of Wines, he informed us that there was going to be a ritual on a hill, half day's journey away. Made our way out there, and I nearly fucking died. In my sense of death-filled agony, the fanged fucker laughed at me. I'm not okay with that. You can laugh with me all day long, and you can misunderstand me all day long. But laughing at me, you're gonna have a bit of an issue.
This land belongs to him, everything in it. It is believed by many of these locals that our souls never depart. We are trapped here eternally. For us, of course, our eternity is our prison in many aspects. However, that is why it is imperative that we discover the secrets behind this prison that Strahd has created and crafted for himself. That is why we must get to that temple.
We will get there. We've heard some more stories about that place as well. I'm going to be completely honest and clear with you, because I don't think anybody else is going to understand quite what I mean. But I have every intention of stealing every ounce of joy that that demon on a hill in a castle has. And I want him to be just as miserable as the people are that are under his thumb at the moment. I don't care if I leave. As much as I'd like to go home, I want to see him writhe in misery.
Again, be careful. This path you walk, there was another group, if you will, humans primarily, but they worshipped a dragon, or an order.
Mm-hmm.
Templars, knights. They too were driven by that obsession. And if you find one wandering, you'll know what I mean. For now, they are as well trapped here with the delusion that they are laboring to prolong Strahd's imprisonment. If you don't believe me, go see for yourself.
I don't care about his imprisonment. I just want him to feel misery.
Just be careful of obsessions. In particular, while wielding that.
He kind of looks at it. Takes the book. Takes the marbles. I'll keep it in mind. But no.
What of the tree?
Which tree?
You said the hill. The
Oh.
hill beyond the winery.
I don't know. I was unconscious. Like I said, I was in a death-like state. Dreaming.
Gulthias tree. It is an evil thing. A blight on the land. I was curious to know if you'd found a way to rid us of it.
Would you like it to be gotten rid of? We're going back to the Wizard of Wine probably today, I think.
Any assault against any evil that assists Strahd and his machinations, of course, is, Don't get yourself killed, Tensveda.
I already did once today. Past 24 hours.
remember that death is no release here.
Yeah, gives me an eternity to really make him miserable, doesn't it?
Hmm.
My friends find me annoying, so if I can annoy them, I'm sure I can annoy him.
You'd be surprised.
Thank you.
Well,
it is an honor.
yes.
I appreciate it.
Good
Sincerely.
luck.
We'll be in touch.
Of course.
And he's just
Stay
gonna
safe.
like flip through the book as he's walking back towards the inn.
For the rest of you, is there anything else you were looking to do during your time?
Would appear that Mr. Ash needs some arrows. It would be most unfortunate should he go to draw from his quiver and find his hand return quite empty.
Relatively easy. Make a perception check for me.
That's a 2 off a natural 1, yeah.
The great Durango Fortescue, of course, having an eye for fletching, as he does, finds the finest arrows money can buy.
What's the stock like? Is there plenty?
Oh, there's plenty, and they're relatively cheap. I mean, there are they do. There's a significant amount of hunting that occurs, particularly of wolves, and you find a good grouping of them, and they're cheap. I mean, you get for the amount of gold that he gave you. You find a nice bundle that costs roughly 60 silver for 50 arrows. So it's a little over silver per arrow. And then you get to pocket the rest, yeah.
This is most agreeable. However, the great Durango Fortescue would like to purchase, let us say 10 gold worth of arrows from this merchant and pay another 50 silver to have them delivered to the man at the blue water who has the face that is like somewhere between gazing at the sun and catching a whiff of latrine on the wind.
The shopkeep looks at you like sort of sideways. We don't do deliveries.
Under ordinary circumstances, my friend, of course you would not, but these are not ordinary circumstances. You are having the pleasure of doing commerce with the great Durango Fortescue. Surely an exception could be made. Yes.
I guess gold is gold. So let me ask you something. So 10 gold worth of arrows. I mean, it's you know how many off chance that would buy you?
I assume it is more than I would wish to count, yes?
Right. Yeah, of course. So we'll bring him right over. What time works best for? Would you? What you say? You say he was a man with a gaze like a. What was it?
He looks like he is looking into the sun, but perhaps also catching a whiff of latrine on the breeze.
Right. That bloke. We'll get right over. What is there? A time frame.
This is a most pressing matter. We shall not be kept. The more immediate the delivery.
Of course, wouldn't want to keep you. All right. Tempo. Yeah. We got a delivery to make. What was your name, sir?
I will give you the benefit of the doubt, my friend. Surely the sound of commerce around you, it drowned out your ears. I am the great Durango Fortescue.
Oh, yeah. All right. We got a delivery for the great Durango Fortescue to the Blue Water. He wants 10 gold worth of arrows. Yeah, I know. That's what I said. All right. We could get it over there within the hour. Does that work for you?
I'd never doubted you. You look like a most capable vendor and fletcher of your craft.
He like
It has been a pleasure.
picks his nose real quick. All right, yeah. Oh, the pleasure was all mine, great sir, noble sir.
Durango gives a great theatrical bow, and turns on his heel and starts jauntily kind of strutting his way back to the inn. Obviously, quite pleased with himself.
All right, so you get back to the inn. Tensveta, you arrive almost, just on time. We're nearing that 1 hour mark. Another cart pulls up with several crates. This large figure. Oh yeah, I'm looking for a man who smells like shit and has one eye, I think.
You talking about the fisherman?
I don't know much.
What have you got? Maybe I can help you if you tell me what you've got.
A purple man came in. He said, "Bring." Oh, there he is, sir. We got your arrows here.
My friend, there is some confusion. These are not for me. These are for the brave Sir Ash, Mr. Ash.
Yeah, what?
This man, it would appear, has a delivery for you.
He also said you smell like shit and only have one eye. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. All right. Where would you like them?
I guess you can just. I don't understand what's going on. I sent you for arrows. Why do we have a cart?
And they just start unloading crate after crate.
What in the name of the Fander did you do?
My friend, you said that you needed arrows from the great Durango Fortescue. I took it upon myself to see to it that you shall never run out. Perhaps by the time you are through them, you will have hit a target, yes?
You realize I can just make them in, I can make you 20 in, an hour.
I didn't know that. Hold that thought. How are we supposed to carry all of these?
Mr. Ash, you do yourself a great discredit. Look at you. And he gets in really close and, starts waving his hands around him. Look at these broad, capable shoulders. Surely, you could throw them over your back.
How many crates are we talking here, DM?
You're
muted, sir.
Let's just say it's 3 crates, and it is roughly 10 to 15. So it's 3 crates. It's about 400 arrows. Give or take. They don't, you're not going to count them all, obviously. But Ash, as you pull one out, there's a bit of fur, and one's a little bent. So you're not even certain how many of these are usable, as if they're recycled.
Gross.
But you've got 400 of them.
Formerly wolved arrows.
It's about 20 pounds of arrows.
Jesus.
We don't have a bag of holding, right? Nobody's got a bag of holding. Okay.
Nope.
I didn't think we did. No offense, I'm sure he paid you, and because I know that he paid you, some of these look like garbage. What? Thank you. Hey, can we load some of these up on the cart? I'm gonna need to look at some of these.
Maybe leave a crate here, take a crate to the Wizard of Wines.
Absolutely not. I don't want the boys getting into one of these bloody fucking arrows.
Oh, come on, Danica. Don't be a fucking killjoy. We brought you your fucking wine back.
She's right. I will see. I will try to sort as much of this out as I can before we leave. And I'm just gonna start. Yep. Nope. Yep. Nope. And I'm literally gonna do that until it's time to leave. I'm gonna load up whatever I don't finish, and I'm just gonna keep doing it for the rest of the trip.
Make a perception check.
Messed up
Thank-
arrows just thrown out the side of the cart, littering the side of the road all the way to the
This is-
freaking abbey.
Strahd's going around. Oh, wonder where there could be. Just a trail of arrows leading directly
And they're all
to us.
pointing the
They're
same
pointing in the
direction,
right
making an
direction.
arrow.
11.
Yeah, so it takes. I mean, it takes time, and you're just continuing to sort through them. You've got a couple hours on the way to the Abbey. I'm gonna say that you find 40 that seem like they're in good condition and usable, just in that time.
I'm at least gonna like save decent arrowheads, knowing now that tens can make me decent make arrows. I'm gonna at least snap off a few good heads too, and save what I can, even if the shaft is busted.
And as the cart rolls out of town and heads back along, crossing that bridge, heading towards the Abbey, the small village of Kresk that surrounds it, begin to make your way through those Svalak woods. The sun now high in that noonday sky, sort of beating down. You can almost feel the warmth as it tries to, in vain, to pierce that perpetual gloom that hangs above you, and the shadows dance along the trees, along the road. And that's where we're going to take our first break. So thank you, everybody, for sticking around and watching our whatever this is. The elf eggs, spend them. They go bad, they start to stink.
Yeah,
You know,
there's nothing
when
worse than a bad elf egg.
What are we giving away tonight?
Tonight it's a copy of Desert War.
Desert War. So it's 300 elf eggs in the chat. Go ahead down the bottom. You click the buttons. You spend them. You get them right back. You just like click more buttons. They give them to you. It's a pretty simple system, really. I shouldn't have to keep explaining this show after show after show. But anyways, that's how you use them. Win a free game, whether you like it or not. I don't care. We're gonna give it to you anyways.
Yeah, once you put in those elf eggs, you can't pull out.
And then
No pulling out. Number one rule.
I thought it was optional.
Listen, when those eggs were made, nobody pulled out. All right, don't expect that they're gonna happen now. But anyways, guys, give us 10 or 15 minutes. Spend your time wisely. Spend your elf eggs less wisely, and we will talk to you soon. And welcome back, everyone, to the wonderful land of Barovia. As the wagon rolls on, clunking through the Svalak wood, the sun continuing to move further and further west in the sky, you can see now, as you get to the edge here of Barovia, what you saw a little bit of at the hill before being distracted, that wall of fog that just literally looks from this angle as you roll through along this road, it just creeping up and up and up. Your eyes just follow it as if it is a physical manifestation. This wall that surrounds Strahd's kingdom. And as the cart rolls along, the road branches to the north. You look and see it because it climbs this rocky escarpment, ending at a gatehouse built into a 20-foot high wall of stone, reinforced with buttresses every 50 feet or so. The wall encloses a settlement on the side of a snow-dusted mountain spur. And beyond the wall, you see the tops of snow-covered pines and thin white wisps of smoke. That bell that you heard before rings. The somber toll comes from a stone abbey that clings to the mountainside, high above the settlement. The steady chime is inviting, a welcoming change from the deathly silence and oppressive fog to which you've grown so accustomed. And it's hard to tell at the distance, but there seems to be a switchback road clinging to the cliffs that lead up from the walled settlement to the abbey itself. And just as that comfort sets in and those chimes are reminiscent of any other town, any other church bells, they suddenly become erratic, pointless. You wince, Durango, as they are off time. And then they stop. A few more moments pass. The cart rolls north along that road towards the gatehouse. The air grows colder as you approach the walled city. 2 square towers with peaked roofs flank a stone archway, into which is set a pair of 12-foot tall, iron-bound wooden doors. Carved into the arch above the doors is the name Kresk. The walls from there extend from the gatehouse are 20 feet high, and atop the parapet you see 2 figures wearing fur hats and clutching spears. They look down at you nervously before shouting. Right, well, who goes there?
Delivery from the winery.
Yes. You have... What did he say, though? All right. You can leave it there. Unload the barrels. We'll take it in.
Tens is gonna poke his head out of the front of the wagon and just kind of look up and go, "Actually, I was hoping to speak with someone inside, if you don't mind."
You don't get an answer directly. A few moments later, the gate opens. You see this. You hear the chains moving as the large wooden gate just begins to slowly open, just enough for 2 figures to make their way out. They are about average height, human, a male and a female, both armed in heavy chainmail with crossbows. Yeah, no, we're not accepting visitors at the moment.
Perhaps we could make an exception today. The wine is particularly. He kind of looks over his shoulder. We have some specialty stuff in here that was supposed to come up here. And I have an appointment with a lady, though I can't remember her name.
Make a deception check.
Oh boy. I should not be talking.
Well, it's your choice.
17.
Guard looks at the female, who rolls her eyes and just bounds behind the wooden door. Either way, let's unload the cart here. She'll see about getting you inside.
As
Don't
we're
see too
unloading,
many elves around here. You said you have a friend here.
Supposed to meet with a woman.
Hmm.
She's a
But
big
you
deal.
don't remember her name.
No, I don't.
You must forgive my friend. He has had a most interesting couple of days. My friend, I failed to introduce myself. I, of course, am the great Durango Fortescue. This is the brave Circle Mavvin, saviors
That's on my
of
chest.
the Wizards of Wine. We come to you today bearing not only the usual fine quality produce of the winery, but a specialty batch of Fortescue's finest. Perhaps I could tell you the tale of how it came to be. Durango launches into one of his usual self-aggrandizing songs and weaves into the notes of the music the spell Charm Person.
As soon as the music starts, Cole's already got like a soapbox underneath his front foot for the Captain Morgan stance.
And at level 3, I can charm 2 creatures at once.
Okay. So you're charming
The guards.
the guard. Oh, there's only the one there right now.
Okay.
And that is a 7.
DC 15.
Oh, God, thank Christ, some good music. And you can see as he just like gets enraptured in the song and the tale. Lord Dimitri. And you can see, so another figure at that moment steps out with the female guard that had entered into the city. This man is larger, thin but tall, right, standing well above 6 feet. He is adorned in fine clothes, and immediately your eyes light up, Durango, as you see the jewelry and the marks of station. Well, of course, saviors of the Wizard of Wines. Lord Dimitri, you should, the tale, it's amazing. This Durango Fortescue, the great Durango Fortescue, him and his allies, they thwarted Strahd and his enemies and saved the winery. That is quite a tale. Of course, you are guests of Kresk. I would be remiss to turn away such exalted heroes.
Yeah, Durango does one of his trademark, like, no scrapes the ground bows, cape flowing out behind him. Once again, my friend, it is my failure to introduce myself properly. I am, of course, the great Durango Fortescue. And yourself?
Myself, I am the burgomaster of this Kresk, this settlement. My name is Dmitry Kreskov.
Durango looks as impressed as he can and looks to his companions as if to try and tell them to do the same.
Dmitry Kreskov, great to meet you. If it wasn't obvious already, I am great. Sir Mavvin, at your service.
Of course, such great heroes. Another Cole Mavvin, and the Paladin of Lathander.
Oh, what gave it away?
It is an honor to have such a holy person in our ranks. But please, let them unload these barrels. Let us walk. Yes, of course you will stay in here in Kresk and be my guest for the evening.
We might have a bit of business south, honestly. But and I just sort of look around to the rest of the group. I'm not sure we can take a bit of time, you know.
Would it be most of you rude to refuse such a polite invitation, my friends?
Master Mavvin, again, if we are to make it back to the winery before sundown, we will have to leave quickly. We do not have much time to spare.
Well, remiss to say we are on a contract, as it were. And being the upstanding and trustworthy individuals we are, we could not even think of breaking that arrangement. However, we may be stopping by again fairly soon. We'd love to take you up on your offer at that point.
Well, I will tell you why my heart aches that I cannot make you my guest this evening. I will accept that you have previously taken an oath and admire your dedication to your task.
Just
If any should understand the bonds of duty, I would expect it to be a lord of the land like yourself.
Of course. So please, if you find yourselves this way again, simply ask for me at the gates, and I will ensure that you are guests of our settlement. But I was told you had a meeting with a young lady, yes?
Supposed to meet a young lady up here at some point. If I guess we're not staying long enough for me to have that conversation, so...
Did you know who you were here to meet? I could perhaps have a message passed along.
Didn't get to name, no. It's a meeting of fate more than anything else, so...
Well, who am I to question the fates, yes? Especially when heroes are involved, so...
you'll have to excuse him. He's he's one of them Eladrin folks, so I tend to be a bit esoteric.
I see, I am not familiar.
That's a safe word.
I am not
safe
familiar with his particular lineage, but again, you will all be welcome here in Kresk. We are a humble settlement, but I promise we will provide the best accommodations we can for you. Significantly better than anything you would get in Balaki, that is for sure.
Durango laughs knowingly, a little too much, playing it on
It is
thick.
rustic comfort, but comfort is something we can offer. But with that, I am of course very busy myself and have many duties, many of my own oaths to keep. I will bid you farewell until the next time, the great Durango Fortescue.
And you, my lord, it shall be our pleasure to return as soon as it is allowed. He gives another one of those dirt on the face almost bows. As dramatic and with as much flourish as he can muster.
Mirrored by Cole.
Ash is still sorting arrows.
He like nods, and again his head is raised high and makes his way back through the gate. The personnel from the winery just continue to unload the wagon there at the gate. The guards hand over a small sum of money. All right. If we are to make it back, we should leave soon.
Yup.
Hey, Mr. Fortescue, when did you say you'd be returning?
It is difficult to say with exact certainty, my friend, for the services of a man like the great Durango Fortescue are in high demand. And
Right, well,
fate is temperamental, but I assure you that as soon as I can, I shall return.
I'll let the Burgermeister know. Like shakes his head and just like a weird look on his face for a moment.
Recognizing the expression, Durango makes himself scarce and goes to gather everyone up. Come, my friends, it is time to go. As our kind hosts say, the road is not safe at night.
Back away the little
Several more
soapbox.
guards come. They start bringing the barrels inside the gates. As you guys are leaving, you hear the as they shut behind them.
Man, I got out of that situation without having to say anything. I love it.
Oh, come on, it sounded nice then, didn't it?
Your words were real pretty.
It's a nice enough village. The Burgermeister takes himself a little seriously, but
Don't they all?
I mean, what is royalty when you have a darkness perpetually looming over you?
Oh, I thought that was royalty.
Mm. Those people in there, they are hide inside those walls, afraid of their own shadows. We rarely go inside. Deliveries are typically made at the gate, so I don't know. I don't know much about what you'll find in there.
The bells were sort of going all haywire. It didn't seem to be going off for
pretty
any particular
haphazard.
reason. Yeah.
It sounded to me like they had hung the bellman from the bell with good reason.
You're familiar with Markovia, Mr. Mavvin?
Would I be?
Make a religion check.
Better you than me on that one.
I'm rolling like trash night 7.
I think I may have.
No, you've never heard of it.
That's what I have.
The abbey once was built and named after Markovia. It was a saint, a priest of the Morning Lord, who took a stand against Strahd, and like many fell. After a fairly bloody uprising by the people. Her and many townsfolk died that day, but the villagers revered her. Once it was a hospital and a convent, but a new abbot supposedly arrived. Rumors are over a century ago and has not aged a day since. I guess the wine is for the abbey and the abbot himself. He demands it. I'm not a spiritual man myself.
No, I don't know if how spiritual that man is either. Weird.
That's the old man talking, right?
No, it's one of his children, one of
Okay,
the sons. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, those Barovians all sound the same.
It's true.
Yeah, I resemble that remark.
Well, I guess we could ask more about it when we get back.
Was Saint Markovia a woman?
She was, yes.
Hmm.
But we are making good time. We should cross the Raven River any moment. Be back on our way to the winery. So sit tight, keep your eyes open. It gets a little shaky as the sun begins to set.
Always does.
I will have lit
Nice.
up a torch as the light starts going.
As the cart continues to roll on, trudging through the woods, and the sun goes high in the western sky, just barely beginning to peak beyond that wall of perpetual fog. You continue to make your way. You cross the river. That's another stone bridge, heading south back towards the winery, arriving just before sunset. Well, smooth sailing.
It was
Not
nice to
bad.
get the rest.
Yes, well, typically when you travel with large numbers, most things are smart enough to know when a meal is a difficult one. Better to wait for easy prey, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, we agreed to help you out for this for, minimal money. By that, I mean not a lot at all. With the agreement that you might be able to talk to the keepers for us.
You'll have to talk to my father about that.
I'm gonna pop a detect thoughts whenever he's kind of mulling that over, listening.
Surface level or going deep?
I'm in summer, so I think we're gonna go deep.
All right, is that a wisdom save?
I believe so. Let me check.
Going deep. Pull out
Go
his
deep and
option.
up. I was gonna say.
Wisdom saving throw. Yep.
What's
Great
your
minds
spell
think
save?
alike.
What's your DC?
For that in particular, I'm gonna have to look it up.
It's not high, so.
It's intelligence, so it's my 13.
Oof, just made it. Or just be yeah, I just lost. The initial thoughts are concern. There's a fear and a trepidation, with tempered with uncertainty, and as you dig further, you get this vision of you all, and whether you're trustworthy enough, and then that shadow of Strahd sort of looming over perpetually in the back of everyone's mind. He seems to be debating, the core conflict is that, while you all seem to be good people, are you trustworthy enough to know their secret? Are you going to sell them out to Strahd? Are you just another, just more adventurers that are inevitably going to fail?
He's gonna hear a voice in the back of his head, that nice warm summer breeze, just say, you can trust us. I brought back the seed. If I were with Strahd, which I'm not, we wouldn't have done that.
He sort of glares at you for a moment.
Glare all you want, and he's speaking out loud at this point. Glare all you fucking want. I'm just being honest.
Well, it is difficult to trust anyone that invades people's thoughts.
Listen, I wouldn't be carrying around a blade made of the sun if I were a friend of Strahd.
Friend or foe, I don't fully think you understand what you are up against.
I just want to
If
see
you
him
would,
suffer.
you would travel these lands with a bit more caution and a little less naivety.
It feels a lot less like caution and more like respect coming from a lot of you, so forgive me. But at some point, on some level, someone needs to be honest. I am brutally honest whenever it comes to this shit.
I will be brutally honest with you, Tensveta Neyota. You are just another stream of people who believe that they have the power to do the right thing, that they can stop this darkness that looms over the land. Do you understand how often this happens? Let's look at the tale of Markovia, an uprising, more villagers dead at the whim of a being who thought she could stand against this monster. That mage that wandered in just last year, stumbled in, boisterous, shouting, just like you.
Let me stop you
Believing
there.
he could take on Strahd. How many villagers to their death?
I don't know.
If you had seen the bodies pile the way we have, perhaps you would think differently and understand our trepidation.
Well, according to the people who stay here who are alive a lot longer than the rest of you, apparently this is an eternal torment. So somewhere, at some point, if you want to break out of this cycle of bullshit and anger and frustration and fear, at some point you have to get together and fucking march up there and beat his ass.
At this point, it becomes obvious that Durango has started playing theme music for their conversation, like a tense melody.
You don't know where he found one, but Cole's got a bag of peanuts, and he's just...
At some point, you have to learn to trust the people in Veloki, just like you trust the people at your own home, the people at Kresk, just like you trust the people back at the winery. On some level, those people up on that hill, I don't believe that they were doing that out of reverence for Strahd. They were doing it out of fear too.
Again, spoken as someone who has never stood against this monster and never had to face it. Never watched their people die. Look at you. You speak of longevity. Look at what he did to those elves.
Mm-hmm.
Broken people. Stood against Strahd, broken. The Order of the Silver Dragon, broken. The town of Barovia, broken. The Mage, broken. Markovia, broken. All of them said the same words you say, had the same thoughts in mind, the same foolish pride that said that we will be the ones to make a difference. If only everyone in this, if only we, the people, would stand up. And what happens? We stand up, we get cut down, we get risen as monsters that stalk the forests at night. This is a nightmare, Tensv, that you have stepped into, and you are a stranger here. So you will forgive our caution. You forgive our unwillingness to trust every adventurer that wanders into Barovia, looking to make a difference, looking to make a name for themselves. Look at your group here. Half of you would sooner join Strahd and revel in his court of blood.
At this point, there's steam literally rising from his shoulders as he's getting red-faced.
You yourselves are barely a party. And you want us to blindly follow you, to stand with the mighty Tensveta and his sun sword like none other before, yeah?
I think before you two can get into it anymore, what my friend is trying to say is that you need to stand it all.
We stand,
and don't talk.
And we do fight.
I haven't seen a single fucking lick of fight since I showed up outside of these
Cole
three
standing
people.
very close this time, hoping to roast some of the peanuts on Tenz's radiant heat.
Some of the strongest blades had to be reforged over centuries, or do you not know how stories work? Some of the strongest, most legendary blades had to be reforged. This land could easily be reforged against that fucker. And yet here you are, sitting here arguing with me because you're fucking scared. And he just walks to the other end and hops out of the back of the cart and just starts walking.
Start tossing peanuts at Ash.
He's a little hot-headed. This is a new one. I don't think I've seen this much from him. But he's got a point.
It is that exact inability to control himself that Strahd will take advantage of and turn against you. I promise. We have seen it before.
You also raise another very interesting point, my friend. You speak of all of these people who have been broken by the great Strahd. I, the great Durango Fortescue, have felt his hand wrapped around my neck. I still stand. I live. The great Durango Fortescue.
I'll be real with you, friend. I don't give a shit about your land. I just want to go home. But if in the process that means I get to help you guys out, then so be it. And if I'm gonna die here anyway, I'm sure as hell gonna be dying trying to do it my way and making sure that I'm not I'm not going to be bound to fear ever again. Did it once. It won't happen again.
Again, you do not know what it is that you face. You think it because you saw a shadow in an alley. Perhaps it played with you. You do not know what this thing is capable of. It is this land, this ground we walk upon. It is more than a man or a demon or a devil. It is a, don't know, again, a living nightmare. And those that are caught here, stay here. And eventually your souls will get broken and twisted to the point where you yourselves will be wandering aimlessly like these villagers. Have you ever looked into the eyes of these people? Try it. They are blank, lightless, like staring at the lake, like Zarovich, like blank mirrors, soulless shells, playthings, dolls for Strahd to toy with.
Maybe.
It is our belief that he has his spies pull people in like you simply to keep himself entertained while the rest of us struggle to survive.
Maybe take all that rage you feel at us for trying to do something. I don't know. Direct
You
it elsewhere.
misunderstand. Ash, you misunderstand, my friend. This is not a rage. It is wisdom. It is a lifetime of fighting. And we know that these acts of people like your friend rushing foolishly without purpose, without information, without understanding, they just rush in. What is one man, they say? What is one man? We will raise an army. Follow me, villagers, to your deaths. This is not how you attain victory. We've seen it too many times. If you want to speak with the keepers, if you want to be a part of this war, if you want to fight against Strahd, you will need to be smarter.
Oh, he might be. Oh, so at this point, he's got like a particulate of peanuts all over his face.
Ash grabs the bag and starts eating.
There you go. So I guess then I don't get the point. You're planning, you're scheming. You have these organizations and have these birds keeping tabs on things. If you're just not going to fight them in the end. Because it seems to me you got villages full of dead people. We're all dead. So what does it matter if they die being tormented every single day, trying to scrape together a living, or get it all done quick?
What does it matter? What matters is that we have seen it over and over again, and you have not. Okay, we have seen this cycle. We have fought and we have died. We fought and we have died. We are trapped here. Our souls forever trapped. We are aware of this. You are not yet. You simply think that this is a moment of impermanence in your long road ahead, Mr. Mavvin, or just another chapter in the story of the great Durango Fortescue. But I tell you, it is not. This is your reality now. And if you think you have the power, the capability, the perseverance to actually make a stand here, to do something, perhaps you are the people that get it done. But I beg of you all to take this seriously and to not be so foolhardy and not let your emotions cloud your judgment, because so many before you have stood proud and fallen beyond measure, driven to madness, resurrected as minions serving the darkness they swore to defeat. If you if you don't believe us, head back to the tree. What you do not understand and what we do not have the means to defeat Strahd. We hunt for it. Already you have gathered the symbol of the raven, yes? I've seen it.
Cole fishes through the inside of his jacket pocket and pulls out a little lump of fabric, basically, kind of unwraps the amulet.
Find every artifact, find every scrap, every piece of information that will help you in this fight. Evil lurks all over this land. It is drawn to him like a disease draws in rot. All we can do here is try to fight against it, to try to keep him weakened, to try to defeat some of these minions, to these druids that worship him out of fear or reverence or whatever it may be, these hags that stalk the woods, these creatures of the night. You have just barely begun to scratch the surface of the darkness that dwells in this land. And forever we fight against it, to try to push back, lest it overtake all of us. But we are but a small flame. And if you want to be a brighter one, you will listen to my words wisely. Many before you have come and fallen. Many have tried. None have listened. None have learned. To beat him, you have to understand what he is, where he came from. And I would encourage you to do that first.
Wraps up the amulet, sticks it back in the coat. Yeah, all right, mate. We will listen. Well,
not
I will
enemies.
listen.
We're not enemies, Cole Mavvin. These are words of warning. We wish for you to succeed. We wish to help you in the success, but if your option is to follow that man, to blindly charge into Strahd's castle, waving around his sword of sunlight, it will not go as you plan.
Well, here's the thing. Just wait till it gets a bit colder. You know, it won't be so gung ho about
We've
it.
seen
Yeah?
him. We've seen him in many forms. He's pretty much annoying in all of them.
Oh, every single one. Ain't no happy medium. He ain't find no, like, you know that spot between spring and summer that's just nice and you wear whatever you want once, where's that?
This land, where he comes from, I would very much like to know where it is, so that I may never find myself there by accident.
Anyways, we'll prepare rooms for you. We'll get supper ready as well. What is your plan for the morning?
Well, I reckon there's a tree that still needs to be ironed all day.
That was my thought.
When you go, you will find the last man charged head first, attempting to fend off injustice. Say a prayer for him.
A quick question. He didn't happen to wield like a spear, did he?
No, an axe.
It's curious. Well, I think I smell the leftover goat shank in there, so I think head on in.
Yes, I too may be a bit weary from today's travels. I will go find a bed myself. Have a good night, Mr. Mavvin, Mr. Fortescue, Ash.
Thanks for the lift and hospitality, regardless of any tensions.
Well, yes. Speaking of which, Durango turns yellowed into the night. Mr. Ten says, "Have you been eaten?"
No, not yet. Staying in the barn. All the while, you can hear like the occasional of a sound wave.
Yeah, how far away did you walk?
Not very far. Like if we were still making our way to the Wizard of the Wines, I would have been maybe a total of 10 feet behind the cart, occasionally smacking something with my sun sword just to get some frustration out.
As the sun begins to set and you guys, the wagon is unhitched and the horses fed and put back in the stables, and your rooms and food is brought out. Yeah, the tension in the air is still fairly palpable. In the dark, howling wolves perpetually just resounding through the hillside. In Tensveta, in the back of your mind, the howls are almost tinged with that laughter. That same laughter you've heard in your nightmares. And that tingle in the back of your mind as the sun sword just glows and warmly in your hands as you stare down at the hilt. This burning rage.
Yeah, he's just gonna continue to, make small sonic booms on things as he walks away.
Is there anything else the rest of you are looking to get done before the evening comes to a conclusion?
At some point during the night, Ash is gonna find Cole. So, got to thinking on that cart ride, and I don't do that very often.
Oh, I could tell.
I feel like Tens is laughing at me somewhere.
Oh, I would be too. You left yourself open, mate. It's fine. Just go.
What? Man had a point on the card about trying to rush through this blindly. And he also mentioned understanding Strahd and, where he came from. And that's not a bad idea. But be realistic. Kind of like the church does it. Everything's a symbol. You brandish it everywhere. Don't let anybody forget. Strahd's doing the same thing. This tree, these druids, harassing. If we destroy his symbols, we can at least loosen the grip of fear on the people. And that might help.
Oh, that's it, ain't it? Yeah, these if history tells you anything, nothing's all powerful. Something stops it. I'm not saying Durango Fortescue might be impressive, but I wouldn't exactly call ourselves some, like heroes of yore, anything like that. But even in more normal circumstances, the person in power keeps the people under them scared. I either have a feeling that A lot of these stories are greatly exaggerated, things that people are scared of, or he was just able to do something so terrible a few times that this story's got big enough that keeps him locked down. It's all I can figure, mate. They're just waiting around, walking around towns, waiting to die. That's it. That's it. You sound the town of Barovia. You know, there was people moving, talking. And none of them are alive, mate. If you take my meaning.
I follow. I think we start with the tree. And we start making some symbols and some stories of our own. After all, we got the great Durango Fortescue to tell them.
Start weaving the legend of Fortescue's finest. And let me tell you, between Durango and I, we know how to weave a tale.
And I have a way of picking things up when I need to.
Which reminds me, I keep teasing you. Now, I know what it's about. But I also don't like being things hidden from me. We're gonna be traveling. I'm on to you.
And what do you think you're on?
I'll figure that one out. But I'm watching, and like as he's, settling back down with his, shot glass of Fortescue's finest and his little hay bale in the barn, he's just sitting in the corner propped up.
As Ash looks right at him, and just one eye changes from like green to blue and then back to green.
Oh, I knew it, you a freak.
What are you talking about? Don't go getting crazy on me like the other one. Ash will just go sit down, keep sorting arrows.
So as you all settle in for another restless night's sleep in the barn of the Wizard of the Wines, the howling persists throughout the night, and as difficult as it is to find rest, it eventually comes. Those nightmares persist. The darkness, the laughing, the shadows, wolves hunting through the forests. The next morning, you awake to the sounds of the winery coming to life, the family gathering together, cooking breakfast, readying to work the day. Davian comes out, the old man. I hear you had a bit of a conversation with my son last night.
Just a little one.
He's young, and not wrong in that you need to be aware of the dangers you face here. But know that the keepers of the feather are with you. We are friends in this dark place where you have so few. But know that we too have very few that we can trust. So what is it you need to know, Tensveta Neyota?
I just want the truth, I guess.
What is the truth?
I don't. Well, considering you or so, it's just there's a lot going on. I want to know more about your doings, so that way we can stay out of your way and or amplify them throughout Barovia as we stumble upon others that may or may not be part of the Keepers. Or help to better understand what your goal is as Keepers of the Feather. To potentially help people like the Order of this silver thing that apparently people are finding just tumbling all over the lands of Barovia. Maybe we could, those that are of sound mind. My point is, and this is the point that I was trying to get across to your son yesterday, and I apologize for being so brash with him. And he pulls out a sheet of paper that he has and a marble that he has rubbed across it, and he hands it to him. And it's like a simple, like looking at it at first, it looks like a simple, just like bill of order. But as he looks at it, he's going to see a new symbol like underneath the lettering, just kind of like gently float off of the page. And it's going to be a symbol of a double F, where the top of the second F meets the bottom of that first F. It just says, look, we're taking this, I think, we're taking this title of Fortescue's finest a little bit further. The more people that have this, the more people will know to band together when it's necessary. I wasn't kidding whenever I said that blades of old legendary weapons have been broken time and time again, and been reforged and used for holy purposes. If you are who you say you are, there is some semblance of hope. If others are who they say they are, there is some semblance of hope. I've seen it in person at a church in Vallaki. There are ways to repel him.
There certainly are ways. There are weaknesses, of course, that any of his minions would have. However, I will again remind you that this land seems to bend to him. So these weaknesses that other creatures may face, they do not seem to harm him.
Are you made of the earth of Barovia?
Us?
Yes, you specifically.
Not quite.
Didn't think so. Therefore, you don't have to bend to his will.
We don't. And I think this is where you misunderstand. We are small in number, but you have to... Perhaps it is easier if I show you where we keep our secrets.
By all means, more truth is better for me.
A
better understanding, a better grasp of things is always nice.
So as you watch, this old man sort of leans a cane that he uses to walk. He leans it against a barrel. And similar to Ash, his skin begins to gray. And that gray is replaced with black. And then that black protrudes out as it is replaced in this soft, feather-like form. The face contorts and elongates in front of you and almost snaps as this massive beak appears. And this now humanoid raven creature caws loudly and shrieks in a shrill voice.
You'll understand, Tensveta, that we have our secrets for a reason, not unlike your own secrets. We are not always welcome in these lands. But we have been fighting here for centuries against the darkness in service to the Morning Lord, starting with our patron, Markovia. She was the first. However, we have watched our kin get slain We have watched them fall. So you'll forgive my son in his warnings to you, but know that we are not here to fight you.
You look up, and the shrill cawing of ravens. Now you see them one after another, after another, after another, just standing, looking down at you from the rafters.
All right. That changes things a hair. It kind of gives Ash a look.
There are those of us who are still fighting in the dark, in the woods. Those of us that are watching, gathering information to help, to find any way to defeat this monster once and for all, to free this land, to free our people from this curse that is Strahd. The ravens are your friends out here. But we will not stand and blindly march to death. But we will help you find the answers you seek. Already, to your point, you have secured a symbol we have searched long for. A symbol of our patron, Barovia. The one called Mavvin possesses it.
Allow me to be clear once again. I'm not asking you to march to your death, let alone tomorrow. I, regardless of these chucklefucks,
Excuse me.
have... You heard what I said.
You what?
Regardless of these chucklefucks, I have certain understandings and beliefs of the people in this land, and I am aiming, more than anything, to get not just these 3 out of here, but the rest of you out from underneath his thumb. And while that sounds very ambitious, I don't know that it will be impossible. I've seen things, and I know you have as well, that lead me to believe that there is more at odds with Strahd than there are those that are with him. I understand that there are people watching in every town. I understand that there are people watching in every little encampment. But after a few conversations with a variety of different people, I don't know that there's a single faction actually unwilling to at least attempt to stand against Strahd.
Again,
Which is why I find it important.
You don't understand that we do stand against Strahd. You just don't see it with your small eyes.
Then why do I see so much suffering under his thumb? Why do I see so much fear?
Because it is a more complex fight than you are willing to give credit for. And some of these people are not people worth saving or anything that can be saved. They are hollow husks of human beings that walk amongst you.
So
Long
be it.
since gone and broken, but we do fight. I will tell you this, then Sveta. If you wish to win this war, help us. There is secrets maybe remnants of Markovia in the Abbey. Find them. Find the secrets there. Find the gem. As they seem to fight against the blight that Strahd has his hold on this land. Wretch it from that witch. If you find yourself near the sunken town, Muriel will guide you. She fights there against the witch. Seek the Ember Temple. Find Strahd's secrets. See if you can uncover what has happened here. What caused this blight, this curse on the land? Destroy the tree. Fight every corner of his darkness until it is him alone standing against us. I don't know that the Order of the Silver Dragon will help you. They are broken husks, tortured souls that wander, content in their servitude as prison guards rather than freedom fighters, but feel free to see what secrets they hold. We will help you, Densveta. We are fighting. Do not think your path the only one.
I don't.
And know that deep in these forests, there is darkness lurking in every corner, and we fight it. And just know that the ravens are always watching.
Thank you for finally being honest and forthright. If there is any way, and this is the only thing I'll ask of you from this point forward, if there's any way that you can keep those that are within your order aware of us, so we don't have to have this conversation every time we meet up with them. Might help expedite things a bit, yeah?
We are all aware of you, and have been aware of you since your arrival.
I told you the birds were following us. Told you.
I never said you were wrong.
Told you.
I never fucking said you were wrong.
Rango played him a song.
Did you enjoy the tune? Of course you did.
I have another question. I don't believe I remember ever asking you what your stance on the Vistani is.
Vistani are a curse on this land as well. They are servants of Strahd, but they are, as you so aptly put, reverent but fearful. The one seer, the Ava, she's a mystery. It is hard to discern whether she is working for or against Strahd. But believe me when I tell you that given the choice, they will most certainly cow away and bow to their master.
Right. Expected, honestly. Well, he kind of looks at the others. I don't see a point in drinking any more of your take for free. Let's go kill this tree. We'll come back, grab a bottle or two, see if we can go find some bones, yeah?
Actually, our little shindig up at the hill the other day gave me an idea. I think we could have a couple of those bottles to go with us now.
I like it.
His form shifts and creaks back into that humanoid form. Yes, I will. I can have them brought out to you.
I think I know where you're going with this, and Cole starts like grabbing like bunches of straw and like kind of tying off little little bottleneck-sized bundles.
I mean, at the end of the day, if it's a tree, it burns.
Usually.
If nothing else, at least it'll piss it off.
Right, because we definitely want another one of those large trees marching our way, swinging their fucking branches and knocking me out again, yeah?
Hey, we took
Especially
one out
multiple
already,
times.
mate. You're fine.
Look, I'm just saying, I don't really enjoy being knocked out and hearing his fucking laughter every time I fall asleep.
A dramatic showdown to the death with the dark forces, or perhaps a picnic atop the hill. Either way, this is an excellent plan.
Sometimes you're refreshing.
My friend, if you think that I am refreshing, you should try Fortescue's finest.
As he gathers, you could say, you know, several of the others, they bring you the bottles. And as you all kind of gather yourselves to head out back towards the hill, he turns to you one last time. Just be safe on your journey. If you must sleep at night in the forests, follow the ravens. We will guide you as best we can. Always have fire.
I appreciate
All
that.
things in this land hate the light, with meager comfort it may bring.
I appreciate it. I apologize if I ruffled too many feathers.
Oh, you're just an asshole. That was uncalled for.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but
Comes out in the summer. What can I say?
you got to teach me that trick sometime. By the way, that's fun. The bird thing, though, you know.
A great Sir Cole Raven.
Oh, it has a ring to it, don't it?
Think perhaps I
hate
could
it.
pen a tale.
Chuckle
I did-
fucks all around.
It doesn't quite work that way.
Well, for
Kinda
sure.
Looks at Ash.
As
Damn,
as you
something
turn
up
and you
with
begin
him.
to walk, away. Tens, you feel a bit of warmth and a bit of a tap on your shoulder.
Looks over.
It looks like a little bit of white, maybe some berries mixed in there. It just drips down your shoulder.
He snaps once and it disappears.
Another drop on the other shoulder.
Snaps again, disappears.
Stop fucking with the peanuts.
Ash Ash just walks behind and starts snapping to put it back.
And he's just gonna start like snapping rapidly as it just literally begins to steam off of him.
Every once in a while, Ash will throw a snap in there and make sure that some of the bird poo lands on Durango where you can't see it.
Durango's far more concerned right now with cutting a heroic figure as he strides off, nose in the air, a ponytail flowing in the wind, cape out behind him, collecting feces.
All right. So let me reset this. Right?
Fortescue's feces.
We're back here again.
Oh my god.
Fortis poo myself, but you know that's pretty good.
That was loud. Oh boy.
Oh, did I just break it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm having a restart.
yep, reloading.
Refresh.
There we go.
So yeah, so a couple hours of walking through the woods, you find yourselves back on that hill, that looming mound, those black like wet stone cairns just lining each ridge, leading up to that path, still smoldering, a bit of smoke from the burning effigy. Nothing seems to have been disturbed. That tree still just looming in the dark, or in the day, still just dark shadow cast across the hill. As you approach again, Cole, you hear that like a whisper, and maybe it's a memory at this point, but that whisper in the back of your head, "Find me."
Does it feel like it's coming from any direction, or is it just sort of like ubiquitous?
Just sort of just kind of there, right? You're not even certain if it's just a hallucination or just you're thinking it. Maybe it was your own thought. Was it a voice at all?
As we're walking by that sort of cairn wall and all those, I'm just gonna, as we're walking by, sort of just like dust my feet past the ground on some of the mounds, see if I, maybe something that looks like a spear tip or the haft of a weapon or something.
So as you walk along them, kind of looking at each one, brushing them with your feet. They are heavy stones in place. This black coloring, this almost like wetness to them. And the stone itself, like it had been burned, and just perpetual rain has just seeped in now. You walk through them, and each one nondescript. You don't see anything, you don't notice anything, and then suddenly one of them just draws your attention. Seems to almost pull you in. No more distinct than any of the others. The rock covering the tops, the rocks on it that make it up are heavy. But this feeling, this sensation, just to remove them. Get them out of the way. Find me.
I just kind of walk over and start like casually picking some of the moss off, and then some of the moss turns to some of the smaller pebbles, and start moving to the little stones until I'm like in a decent pace, like moving hunks of rock.
First you watch as Cole just continues to move these. Now it is almost fervently like removing these heavy stones with just incredible focus and purpose. Almost a manicness in his reverie as he begins to pull one after the other. Make a strength check for me, Cole.
See if I can roll after the break. There we go. 23. Natural 19 on the die. Eat it.
Yeah, so even though the boulders now at the bottom are getting heavier and heavier at the bottom of this cairn, it's you feel like you see it. You can see it. What are the rest of you doing?
Durango's just watching what Cole's up to.
Doesn't seem very holy man of you to be digging up a grave.
Cole just sort of like pauses for a second, looks over his shoulder, and goes, "What's Oli have to do with it?" And just keep moving.
If I can, Tins will pull 8 marbles out and put them in his palm and kind of like fuss over them for a few minutes as he ritually casts Detect Magic. 1 for each school of magic.
You're casting this as a ritual?
Yeah, it's going to take some time.
So you're taking the 11 minutes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like...
Yeah, so Cole, you're moving quickly. You're pulling the rocks off, and you're pulling them. And as you get to the bottom, you can see it almost in this clear pool of water, just sitting, gleaming like a trophy. this spear of metal and wood with this wicked tip, but it looks like almost gold in your eyes, as if it was there waiting for you all along.
See, that's what I've been seeing. Yeah, and just reach out and grab it like I know it, and pull it out of the water.
The rest of you watch this grisly scene as this pool of mud and filth underneath this cairn, strewn with bones and other refuse, just gets Cole just reaches in, grabbing at the spear, just pulling bones and chunks of decayed ancient flesh just out with it, gleefully, as if not even noticing the filth attached to it. This rushing sensation as the spear touches your hands, as you hold it close, you can see this figure, Caven, this ruthless chieftain, leading his tribe through the Balanok Mountains, centuries before the darkness, before Strahd, before any of these weaker humans decided to start making camp in this valley. You see him, much like the vampires, hunting at night like a wolf in the dark, drinking the blood of his enemies. Right, yeah. You now have a spear. Tensveta, as your magic kicks in, you see the magic in the spear he's holding. Although it looks old and covered in filth, you can see it glow, and you can see the glow of several of the other artifacts that your friends hold. You can see the shining light from inside Cole Mavvin's pocket where that symbol sits. The blazing sun that is your sword, and then the pitch black darkness, something just pure malevolent pulls your gaze to the top of the hill as this radiating evil magic just exudes from the tree at the top, pulsing and waving. You can see it now curling. You trace it down, its roots tangling into the ground underneath your feet, burying into the mountain itself. That dark black evil that just runs its course, making its way to the very trees and coursing through the land like veins pulsing. And that's where we'll pick up next week. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for yet another episode of Curse of Strahd. Sorry we couldn't be here last week. Jay had some stuff going on, but we will be here next week, definitely. Of course, if you liked this stream and you were like, oh, man, I really want to watch these guys play different characters or do other bad voices, come check us out tomorrow for a Sinner's Dream, which is our noir-themed 1940s-esque Dungeons and Dragons game that we play where Chuck is the DM and I get to torment him with my annoying character.
Hey.
So hopefully I bought you enough time to spend all your elf eggs, and you guys have put in all the things to win all the stuff, and whatever, take my stuff. I don't care. I don't need it anyways.
Things to get all this.
Man, am I excited! You guys are getting into the heart of this thing now, and it is it just gets worse from here.
Oh yeah, I figured.
This spear got me worried.
The tree got me worried. I recognize the name.
So we are rolling.
Oh, are we? Are we
And,
doing stuff? We're picking
yeah.
people and doing stuff. We're gonna wrap this up.
Picking
like we usually
people.
do.
So, our good friend here at the channel, impromptu DM, chronic supporter, Souls Rolls. Congratulations, buddy! You're gonna be trooping through a desert on Steam. So congratulations.
He loves fighting deserts. Loves it.
What?
He loves to
Get
fight
that
a
going
desert.
at you just a sec here, man.
Anyways, Thank you guys so much. Huge shout out to our sponsors for these shows, Foundry, Forge. If you guys are looking to do this stuff yourself, you want to play your own virtual D&D games, pop in our Discord. Ask Chuck and I. We use this frequently. I'm in love with it. I've loved it ever since I switched over. And of course, Forge makes it super easy to run your games and host them. It's really difficult to go the other way if you want to use this, play online with your friends without the help of Forge. But if you guys have questions about that stuff, feel free to hit us up. We're more than happy to walk you through, give you our list of mods, whatever it takes. We just want to see more people play, and honestly, it's the best platform to play it on. So with that, hopefully we see you all tomorrow, and then again Thursday for Scum and Villainy, where our very own Cole Mavvin and Mr. Durango Fortescue, but it's Oven Bricks and who's the Canadian?
Oven Bricks. Yeah.
That's Teddy Brinks, eh?
Teddy
I
Brinks.
hope you don't feel too bad about forgetting that, eh? But I won't hold it against you. Then.
Watch
make
as they
some meth
bumble
for you
their
to make
way
the pain
through a space adventure. Anyways, guys, let's have Ash tonight. Finally be able to hit something, and at least hit who we're gonna go raid.
Hit the mark. But
well, I'm gonna drop that spear on your character right now. So
okay.
Stop freaking out. Okay.
Oh no.
I'm not freaking out. 16. I'm freaking out a little bit.
I was gonna say liar.
I was so tempted to jump in and snake it from you too. It wasn't a good narrative point to do so.
Right. We are going to be raiding Long Lost Lore. They're playing Here Be Dragons Session 18.
Yar.
Awesome. Well, let's go be loud. Let's be noisy. Let's make some new friends out there. And we'll see you guys next time.
Tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Bye.
Which is the next time.
Technically.